Well, hello everyone, it's Kari back again with you on the channel to share a really fun card with the new Magic Speak stamp set. And I couldn't resist that sentiment that said, I see new stamps in your future. So of course I had to pair it with this stamp set called Fortune Teller. And we're going to do some fun techniques using a couple of stencils from Missing Stamps as well. I've lately been a little bit obsessed with some backgrounds, so I thought I would do that and bring in some foil. This is some Opal foil and also some Blanco transfer gel and a bunch of distress oxides. So we're going to pull all of this together to create a really cool fortune teller magical background with some Opal foil. It's going to be really fun. So I'm using this stencil from Missing Stamps, and it's got a couple of masks and a couple of different layers. So it's really fun to be able to do different techniques with it. And today we're going to create a really interesting looking opening with that foil. So I'm starting out with a couple of colors of Distress Oxide ink. This first one is the light blue called Speckled Egg. Then I'm going to bring in some milled lavender. I've got Victorian Velvet and also Seedless Preserves. And I'm just kind of putting this on in an X shape. Then I'll go in with that purple and put on a little bit of that right to the next, just right next to the blue. Now this did take me a little while to add because these are such light colors. But as we build it up and add more and more layers, it's really going to create something fun in the end. Next, I'm going in with that Victorian Velvet. Going to bring that in right here to those open spots that are left. And right now it does look a little bit crazy. I'm going to go back and forth and just blend these colors together. And then we'll bring some darker colors in to really bring it all together. But this is just the base for the background. And that's going to do it right about there. And now we can bring in those stencils. So this first one, the arch stencil, is the Window to the World. And I'm going to just use one of these right now. And right now I'm just kind of imagining how that's going to look. So I line that up, and then I'm going to take the mask and I'm going to add a little bit of tape so that I can add the mask right to the center. That's going to mask off that part. And then we'll use the largest opening so that we can ink on around the edge of this window. So I'll use my magnets to keep these in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and use that darkest purple to just outline this window. And you can see I'm just kind of holding on to them a little bit, making sure that they don't move on me. And then I'll remove that mask and you can kind of see this beautiful purple outline. Next, for the inside, I'm going to use the smaller opening now to cover up that purple that we just did. And I will ink on a little bit of this Distress Oxide in Hickory Smoke. It's going to give it a little smoky look right around the inside, just like that. But you still see a little bit of the purples and the blues kind of shining through that background. So that looks pretty cool right about there. Now I'm going to take some of that smokiness around the edge just a bit here. And it wasn't quite dark enough for me, so I'm actually going to bring in a little bit of black soot and some Villainous Potion. So I'll go around all the edges with those and see how that just darkens it up really nicely. It's looking really cool here. So I'm going to keep adding some, and I'm just going to skip forward just a touch so you can see the addition of the foil. So to add the foil, I'm going to use the largest opening once again of the stencil, and then I'll bring in this Fancy Shells stencil, and now we'll add that Transfer Gel Blanco. So just keep in mind that we have two stencils here lined up, one on top of each other, So that's going to make your transfer gel really tall. I am trying here to put a really thin layer on so that the foil is not going to expand too much, or it's not going to spread out too much. So I'm really trying my hardest, but you can see that it did spread just a little bit. It's going to be okay in the end. It's all going to work out just fine. I'm going to set that aside to dry while I wash off all of my stencils and my utensils and do the coloring. So I'm not leaving all the coloring in here, but I am just going to show you a little bit of this cute fortune teller. She is definitely predicting that you have stamps in your future. And I'm pretty sure she's right on that one. I'm just going to color in her skin here, just like this, using some of my favorite color combos. And then we're going to add a little bit of color to her hair. Today I thought she would look fantastic with some purple hair. So I'm going to go in with some BV13 to start, and then we'll just blend through to give her a light lavender colored hair. This next color is BV11. So I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. And you can see I take my time on this part. She does have a scarf tied up in her hair, so I'm being very careful here to not get that scarf, and that way we can color that to match her outfit. So now I'll come in with the lightest purple here and just go through, blend that through. And as I normally like to do, once I get all of the colors on, I go back in with the dark and medium colors to add some more contrast, some more depth, darkness. So that's what I'm doing here. And I kind of like her with purple hair. What do you think? It's fun. Once I finish with the hair, I'm going to go in and color her outfit. Her little jacket, I'm going to color in browns, and I've got some E57s to do that. And then we'll add a little more color to the rest of it. And as I say, I'm just going to kind of speed through the rest of the coloring, but I did want to show you some of the major portions here. I love these color combinations for the E50s, mostly for animals, but I just thought she needed a brown jacket. What would you call this? A duster? A robe? I'm not sure, but I think it looks really good in these shades of brown. And I did use 4 different shades of brown to really give it that contrast that I was looking for. So E57, E55, E53, and E51 as the lightest color. And I'll go back through all of those colors yet again to blend those through. Very, very cute. Now I'm going to do the rest of the coloring off screen, and I decided to just use this character, the chair, the books, and the cat. So I'm leaving the rest of that off for later. So I have everything cut, and I use the coordinating dies to cut them out. I also have my sentiment ready to go, and now I'm taking the Opal Foil. This has completely dried now, and I'm going to run it through my mini mink machine. You can use a laminator if you have that, but this was a little bit too long, so I am going to trim this foil. And this foil is really fun because it's opal. It actually is a little transparent, which is why I use the Blanco Gel instead of just the regular Deco Foil gel. The Blanco Gel will make it look like it's a white background with that opal foil on top, so kind of give it an opalescence. It's really, really pretty, and I thought it really matched a fortune teller. So now I'm taking this star stencil. I'm going to use the larger mask and some Lunar paste, and this is the gold color. And we're going to go through the stars and add just that gold. This is going to give it kind of a magical, mystical look. I always think fortune tellers should have stars for some reason. It's in my brain. I don't know. But I did like the way this turned out. So once that is on, I'll go clean all of my utensils once again and my stencil. And here is the reveal. So we've got these stars in the background, the opal foil in the middle section, and that beautiful oxide background. Kind of looks mystical, doesn't it? And it's a pretty light pastel color, magical. So we'll add that to our card base, and now we can start adding our images, our sentiment, put everything on. I thought the cat looked really cute, curled up on the chair with the books on the floor. So I really like that. I'm going to add the images with some foam tape and just pop those up so we have a little dimension on this card as well. But I will glue down the cat right to the chair, just like that, and the chair to the background. So our character is going to be the one that's most in the foreground, as well as the books, just like that. And then I'll go ahead and add a little bit of detail around the edge of the sentiment. I thought it needed just a little purple around the edge there. So I'm taking my finger dauber that already has some purple to it. And this will just give it a little more, there we go, a little more dimension. And I'm going to add some foam to that sentiment as well. I see new stamps in your future. So I got a little smudge on this. I'm just going to take a white gel pen and go over that. And you won't be able to see it at all. So that's really great. All right, there we go. Let's take a closer look at this card. See that opal in the foil in the center and the gold stars on the outside. This has a lot of shine, a lot of mystical colors to it. It's really, really fun to add all of these elements to a fortune teller card. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back real soon with more card inspiration. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.